so excited tonight to welcome you to the Women in Fashion panel, because we've been really trying to push what business means. And it's much more than finance and consulting and law, even though those all are incredibly important, but the creative industries are super, super important as well. So
I'm really very privileged to welcome tonight 3 very inspirational women from diverse perspectives in fashion.
I think there are challenges, but I think it's just about, uplifting each other and supporting each other. And I think that's been really amazing to have that kind of support network.
There are still very few women who are creative directors of major fashion brands, and there's even fewer who are chief executives of these brands, even though that it's an industry that primarily employs women and of course caters to them as well. I would say though, I've definitely been in roles where men with less senior positions have been paid more, which is why I really encourage women to be open and transparent and talk to their colleagues about how much they get paid, because until you have to pay transparency, you can't fix it.
Woman. I feel like for me, being a woman was like kind of like my superpower in terms of everything I do with street food, because it's kind of like people expecting you to be a guy or a boy like doing this, and it's like, oh, it's a girl that's doing it and she's doing it this well or whatever. So I just always looked at the positive in everything and being like, the fact that I'm a woman is the reason why I'm able to do it, and to do it to this like standard and stuff.
Being more responsible with our consumption and also responsible with our waste. As the UK, we have a massive need for consumption, taking advantage of different territories of their workers and then not being responsible for our waste and it's not ending up in our landfill. So I think it's kind of about accountability and responsibility also. And I think it's then the consumer asking the brands that you like, asking them about their supply chain, asking those questions, and getting them to provide the solutions that you kind of want also. But I think education is kind of really key in understanding what we're buying, and making sure we're asking those questions.
I think, in terms of immediate and tangible things that the industry needs to do, brands need to know their supply chains, and they need to be transparent about them, because if they don't know about them, they can't fix them. And the other thing I would say is, more than half of our clothes are still made from virgin polyester, which is petroleum, and that's a fossil fuel. So really, I would encourage people when they're buying clothes, can they buy them secondhand, and also check the tags. Try not to buy polyester. If you are, make sure that it's recycled. It's just a really, really, really big impact.
But I feel like for the streetwear industry in general, the pandemic was to an extent probably good, because you probably have like more streetwear designers now, because a lot of people didn't have anything to do. So people were like, I'm going to create a clothing brand. And it gave a lot of people time to like really be in your zone and like create, I guess, and just like really try and not follow what everyone else is doing. And
probably the most exciting thing was the shift towards about sustainability, which happened not just in the West, but also in China.
Just seeing like how brands really take on their like social responsibilities now, and just making sure it wasn't a trend, as you said, and it's like, because it's like Black History Month, we're going to care about this, or because it's like Black Lives Matters like going on right now, we're going to care about this. Because like for us Black people, it's not a trend, this is our life, like this is what we go through like every day, all the time. So it's just making sure that this is not just a trend, and it's going to be something that is going to be so like cemented into the culture of like fashion and everything for like ever. Yeah.
It's about also the team behind and making sure that that people are represented.
The more different kinds of people that you get in the industry, the richer the industry is.
I think that's kind of like an important thing. If you don't feel like you fit in, you can make your own space to work in with the people that you feel like you want to be working with. Someone said to me like, oh, well, you don't have to be part of the problem. You can kind of create your own way of working.
If you actually put your mind to anything, you can balance everything out and you can do whatever you want. I would say just like keep doing what you're doing, but at the same time, like don't try and not get overwhelmed. Like just take your time and don't feel like you need to be doing everything at once, that you need to do that. So planning and prioritizing, I'll say, are the most important bits. and just don't stop. Just keep going. Just don't stop.